going on, guys? My name is Anthony Anthem, aka Mr. AKA, and today we have a special guest. Her name is Shanna Toft. She is an actress, a mother of five, and so far from our conversation, she is a wonderful personality, and I'm glad to have her on the show right now. How are you doing today, Miss Toft?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you, Anthony, for having me. How are you?
I cannot complain. I woke up this morning, and it's another day's journey, so I'm glad to be a part of it.
Awesome.
Sincerely. So, Miss Toff, tell me about yourself. Okay, I've been reading up. I see that you've done a couple like small indie films and everything.
Right.
Um, what got you into the acting scene? Because I see that you do have a background in it from your college days as well.
Right. And actually, of course, elementary school too. I did plays and things all through school. And really, as a toddler, even, I was dressing up and, just entertaining my parents' friends and things like that when they'd come over. And I just have always felt really comfortable being the center of attention, and that's not not saying things in a bad way, but it's just I love to perform. So growing up, I did do the plays and things like that, and then I kind of stepped away from acting for a little while, well, longer than a little while actually, to have a family and children. And then I got back into it really professionally last year, um, because a really dear friend of mine who is actually a photographer in the area, she does some celebrity photography too, which is really cool. But she pushed me into getting back to acting, and I am ever so grateful to her. She sent me an audition and she's like, "Hey girl, you really need to do this." I got in, got accepted, and it's just been a whirlwind from that point forward. She did my most recent headshot photos and I just love them.
Oh, they're
And they
fantastic.
Oh man, she has been a really integral part of getting me back into acting, from the very get-go. And then I got connected with a fellow actor on a theatrical performance that we did for Prairie Lights in Grand Prairie, Texas. And he's part of Glenn Morshower's class, and he invited me to audit the class, and I loved it. Sent in my audition tape to Glenn and got welcomed into that family. And I get to go soak up all of his knowledge week after week after week and just continue to grow in my acting skills and abilities and continue to make more and more connections too. So it's been absolutely amazing. This past year has just been incredible. So I'm so glad to be back into acting.
I can see that you are very excited, and I can tell this is definitely a huge dream of yours. And also, shout out to your friend as well, because it's hard to find good friends these days, especially those that'll push you hard, so that way you can be in the right direction because they care about you. So
Absolutely.
that's beautiful right there.
Thank you.
Um, so let me ask you something. So, what kind of movies have you done in the recent time? Because I know I saw a little bit, but I want to see like what what did you start off doing when you decided to come back to acting?
Well, let's see. I did a couple of little commercials here and there, and uh, one of them airs locally here in Dallas, Fort Worth, or at least it did for a little while, and at the Dallas Stars games. It was for um, a car sales place. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say the name right now, but um, but that was a fun little way to step back into it. And then I started doing little indie films here and there. I worked on one called The Seventh, and we just got the trailer
Ooh.
completed, and I got to start sharing that a couple of days ago. That is actually a superhero villain film, and in
Oh.
that I play a villain with superpowers, and so that was a ton of fun.
I
Right
try to picture
now,
you playing a villain though, because like you seem like you're just so nice too.
I know
You
I
must.
really am a nice person almost always, but I do enjoy playing the darker characters from time to time because that's like polar opposite of me, and I get to just really, really play with those characters. And then I get to, debrief and go back home and go back to being my mostly kind, normal self. So it's a
Oh,
lot of fun for me.
you know where it's gonna be released at? Because I love indie films myself. So,
Well, those details I'm actually not supposed to be talking about at this
oh,
time, but I will share that as soon as I am allowed to do so. I worked on another short film called T Squad, and in that film, I played a training instructor for a school of all girls who are being trained up to be spies. That was a lot of fun too. And I am
mm,
about to be in a faith based feature film called Blind Confession. In that one, I play a homeless mother who is helped by a drug dealer. So
wow.
and I've done extra roles here and there in different things too, different television and feature film spots as well. We actually have a premiere on June 1st for Insincere Twins, and I do not have a speaking role in that film, but I am featured in that film, and I get to walk the red carpet for that. So I
That's
have
cool.
actually had a dress made for it, and I get to ride in the limo and go schmooze with all the important people and just have a really good time at that premiere. So I'm looking forward to that too.
That sounds like a lot of fun right there. Just kind of mingling, kind of seeing what the red carpet's like and everything. I
Oh,
mean, would this be your first time doing the red carpet?
it will be, yes. And actually my almost 15-year-old daughter beat me to the red carpet because she made a film a couple of years ago and won for her whole school. So she got to see her film up
Wow.
on the big screen before I've ever gotten to see one of mine.
Oh,
So
so the talent is passed down. I see.
it is, yes, absolutely. And actually, my kids have all been in two films with me as extras. One of them is called No Other Love. That's another faith-based film, and the other one that they were in with me is called Flip Turn, and that's going to be coming out in the spring, I believe, next spring.
Okay, great. Wow. So it's just the family of Toft.
Well, they're Johnson, but that was my married
They're,
name.
oh, that was your married name. Okay, I got you.
Yes,
Okay, so you're
I
form
have been happily single parenting for 9 years now. So,
a single mother of five?
yes.
Oh my goodness, bless your heart. Seriously.
Oh, they're
Like
awesome kids, though. I mean, they really could not make it any easier for me. They're wonderful.
that's amazing though, because man, my mom raised two children by herself, like as a single parent. So I can only imagine, like, wow, that's that's
They're
definitely a tribe right there.
well, I am very time and calendar oriented, so I run a pretty tight ship as far as, getting out of here on time goes and things like that and scheduling and all that sort of thing. So I'm a calendar freak and, the kids know when we're getting ready to go somewhere, they have to have certain things done by specific times of the morning. This is done by 5:15, this is done by 6:11 and that sort of thing. So they're on a pretty strict schedule in the mornings.
I can only imagine because with that many kids, like that's definitely yeah. You got to have something organized.
For
I
sure.
mean, so like, how old are your children? Like,
My
I know you said you had a 15-year-old.
Right. She's almost 15. She'll be 15 in August, but my oldest actually turned 18 in January, so I have another adult in the house, and it's very exciting. I've also got a 16 and a half year old son, and of course my daughter that I mentioned will be 15 in August, and I've got a son who just turned 13 and another daughter who just turned 11.
Oh, so you got the teenagers in the house.
I do have four teenagers, if you count the legal adult one, and one preteen, but I do not allow drama in the house. They know you better be saving the drama for the stage or the screen.
Now that sounds like my mother. I just had a flashback. It was like, no drama, save it for your mama. Well,
That's
you're right
right.
here.
There shall be shalom in my home. You take that elsewhere.
I'm with that, sincere. So, I know you were saying that you've been acting since you were a child. So, I mean, tell me a little bit about your upbringing. Like, where did you grow up, and like, what was the journey like for you? Like,
Well, my mother and father got divorced when I was two, so I did grow up with step parents, but I grew up with my dad and my stepmom, who I call mom, and I grew up in Austin and just absolutely loved it in Austin, except for all the cedar down there. But Austin is really, really good for the arts, and I just fell in love with like the plays we got to do in school and everything. And then we moved up to the Dallas Fort Worth area for high school, and I did theater in high school and also dance and choir and in addition to cross country and things like that. But my family that they're more conservative than some, and so they wanted me to make sure I went to college and got like a business degree and things like
right.
that. They didn't really encourage the acting so much, but I can appreciate that they wanted to make sure I had something to fall back on. But it is my passion. I do have two bachelor's degrees and two master's degrees, but
Oh,
they what I've been able to do with those degrees doesn't feed my soul. And I actually left the corporate world as of 5 p.m. April 30th. So I am acting and directing and modeling full time.
oh, wow.
Yes.
Just so this is just recently.
The full time, yes. Yes. And I'm
Girl, you
really
cut it down to the minutes. You're like, I am out of here. It's 5 p.m. It's
yes.
April 30th.
Exactly. Well, it's funny because I actually put in my 6 week notice back in February. So March 15th was supposed to be my last day. And this was due to a contract I was signing, and all of that wound up getting delayed. But I went ahead and stayed because they hadn't found a replacement for me yet. And then they finally hired someone, and I was asked to stay and train her. So I was like, okay, it's April 30th. I'm out of here. So,
Oh my goodness. What
yes,
were you
and
doing before?
I told them I wasn't working on Mondays either because that's when I have my acting class with Glenn Morshower. So I'm
Wow.
not missing class unless I'm booked somewhere.
Fair enough. And what were you doing like in the corporate world?
Oh, I was in tax, corporate tax. I handled all of the the weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly pop-up taxes for 15 different construction companies in the conglomerate across the United States and Canada.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I can see why. Yeah. So April 30th, y'all, 5 p.m. I understand why she left.
I mean,
That's a
don't get
lot
me
of
wrong,
pressure.
I'm really good at that stuff. It just doesn't feed my soul the way that getting to be on stage or on set allows me to do. I
Yes,
get
I
paid to
can.
play. So it's really nice.
I can see that. And That's awesome that you are finding. Cause a lot of people are afraid to take that extra leap for something that they feel like that's their purpose or they feel like they have a passion for. Some people never take that leap,
Right.
and I actually find that very commendable for you because of the fact, like, I could tell you probably had a lot to deal with in the last like 9 years or plus because of the fact that you kind of had to take a step back from something you really love to do because you wanted to be a mom. You wanted to make sure you had feasible means for your family and everything.
Right.
And
Right.
for you to like take a step back and realize, okay, my children are old enough to where they can take care of themselves. If I got to go handle business, being an actress, and the fact that you are finding this courage, because like I feel like if you can find the courage, it don't matter like what your age is or what your background is, and you had the courage to go and stand up and step up to this journey. It may not be an easy road, and just give it all your effort. Then you're living life. You're doing it.
Absolutely.
I love
Absolutely. I
that.
mean, if you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh man, I have to go there, you're not in the right place, you know?
You're
But if you
doing it
wake up
wrong.
and you're like, man, it's another day, I get to do this, that's where you're supposed to be. So, you
Life is so
just
short.
it really is, and it's way too short to be unhappy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I do a delivery service. That's kind of one of the reasons why the name Delivery Bros actually came into existence. And I had to drop off some food to an elementary school for one of the teachers. I had realized 21 years ago I was one of those students,
Right.
and I was thinking to myself, I didn't know it at the time at 9 years old that this, this will fast forward because like when I came here to, because I'm from Missouri, so when I came to Kansas City, Missouri, like I was 9 years old. My parents had just split up, and I remember it felt like growing up took forever. And I'm realizing now, like I'm almost 30, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, look how far I've gotten. And I thought that I would stay nine forever, and that's one of those things that kind of opened my mind to thinking like, with this time that I have, it's either I can make something out of it, leave a legacy, or just kind of go on the motion and live, live kind of just for the wrong reasons. So when I hear stories like this for you, Miss Toff, like it shows how much I feel like, hey, maybe I'm doing this right by doing this because I get excited about doing these interviews and speaking with different people, and I'm passionate about opening up a dialogue, opening up a conversation. So when I hear like a little bit of your story, I can already tell that maybe I am going in the right direction. And I mean, I can already tell you have a gift
Thank
just
you.
from just your essence. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, it takes a bad woman to to, to like raise five kids, go after her dreams, put food on the table. I mean, Miss Toft, you are the epitome of what I look up to, sincerely.
Thank you. And it's a little scary, but it feels right, it's feeding my soul. It's making me happier. My kids are happier because I'm happier, and it's producing a much better overall household environment too, because it's like, oh yes, positive vibes everywhere. It's awesome.
I love that because one thing I noticed, like when I was growing up with my mother, is you can feel the vibe of your parent if they're going through something,
Right.
and the fact that you're more happier, I can only imagine what that household feels like. It must feel like the richest feeling in the world.
It's awesome. Well,
Well,
and the kids are so supportive. They are so happy that I'm getting to do all of this, you know. And so like I'll check in with them and be like, you know, hey, do we need to take some special time together? You know, are you guys getting everything that you need from me? You know, and that sort of thing. And they'll give me some feedback if they're feeling like, you know, hey, you're gone a lot. You know, and then I'll make sure that I cater more toward their needs, and it works. You know, it's a I mean, feedback's really important with your family too. I mean, you can't put your career before your family ever.
I agree. That's that's good to know because like some people get lost in it to the point where they forget the the more special things around them.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie, I've been a victim of that myself. So like I had to like step back and realize, okay, well, what am I doing here? But that's great that you're still keeping you know family oriented, especially
Oh,
in these
sure.
times. It's easy to get lost in everything, like whether it's just technology or whatever it may be. We forget about just kind of looking around our surroundings of what we have.
Right. I mean, you have to take the time to unplug every once in a while, which really is not the easiest thing in the world to do. But, you know, I'll get a wild hair on occasion and be like, okay, no TV, no phone, no computer. We're going to sit and stare at each other and play a game. You know, that, you know, and we have a lot of fun when we do that too. It probably should be a lot more often, but you know, I'm just like, hey, we haven't had any real quality time in a while. Let's play Cards Against Humanity, which is not the not the
Oh
most
my!
friendly game, but we have well, the teenagers and I have a blast with that one. You know, that's my mom of the year moment.
Cards Against Humanity. That's a dark game.
But you
I've
know,
played it quite a few times.
we do throw out some of the cards, but you
I
know,
was
it
like,
just
okay, we gotta throw this one out. We gotta throw.
it gets them to open up and have fun and just you know cut loose and just really enjoy some family time too. And so, and we have other board games and things like that, but that's my little guilty pleasure game sometimes.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that game's kind of a release in
Hmm.
some way because you know how wild those cards can be. It's not like the most politically correct game ever.
No, not at
Like
all, not at all.
that's definitely one of those games you can play with like friends or family and
Right.
just kind of just relax. You don't got to worry about okay, did I say something wrong or oh
Exactly. Well, you know, especially like with teenage boys. I mean, really.
okay. As a former teenage boy, um, I would like to say that yeah, teenage boys can be we can be out there sometimes.
Yeah, that's for sure. But you know, it's a special bonding time. And then the girls and I will, you know, we'll go out and shop and things like that. So I mean, everybody gets their own little kind of special time, and I still get to go play. So it's awesome.
Hey, that means you're doing it right then.
Thank you.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I do direct also and do different crew things too. So like
Oh,
actually
tell
May
me about
20,
your director.
I'm doing a little bit of everything, but you know, and as an actor, I have been taught that it actually makes you a better actor to get on the other side of the camera. And when those opportunities have opened up for me, I've jumped on those opportunities. So like I am directing, it's a short film, but I'm directing a creature feature and it's called Killa. So it's a little thriller horror film, and we are actually going to be reshooting it here in June. We shot the first bit of it about a month ago, and then the weather drastically changed, and it was all outside. So we have to reshoot that one. But I'm also Currently production assistant, probably going to move into first assistant director position for a fan film. It's a Star Wars, a Jedi Padawan, uh, I'm sorry, Jedi Wolverine short film that we're doing on the 25th of May. But that's also my son's graduation. So
Wow.
I've talked to the person who got me in on the film, and I said, hey, I'm going to be late on that day because my son is graduating first thing that morning, and I've got family coming into town. My mother and stepdad are coming into town and everything. And he's like, oh, cool, everybody can just come to set afterwards. And so my family is going to be on set with me for
That's
filming
awesome.
that short film, and it's going to be so cool. I'm really looking forward to, because my mother hasn't seen any of me in action with this stuff, and she's super excited about it. My dad really wants me to, he's like, get on The Walking Dead and I'll be impressed. And I'm like, okay, Dad, I'm working on it, I promise I am. So
The fact that you like to do these action scenes,
oh, I
it's
love
like,
action. I grew up watching Doom and Terminator, well, the Doom video game and, Wolfenstein video game and movies like Terminator and Predator and Alien and, Die Hard and all that. I love action movies. On my dad's side of the family, there are tons of guys. And so like my cousins on his side of the family are all boys. And so I grew up with all boy cousins and just like I love all that action stuff. And I love acting in the action stuff. I don't like that sappy stuff so much.
that's man, that's awesome. Like seriously,
Thank you.
I mean, because like I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know like what kind of movies you were into. And then like when you kind of listed off like okay, you were a secret agent trainer, and then you were the villain in this like superhero movie, and then like I was like, oh okay, so
Yeah.
she
So,
likes to get
I
down
mean,
into action roles.
I know there's not supposed to be a John Wick 4, but I really want to work with Keanu Reeves on a John Wick 4 or, subsequent sequel. If there ever happens to be one of those, that would just really make my millennium. I would
He
love it
seems like
so
he is
much.
such a nice guy.
He really is. I mean, he's a beautiful person inside and out, and I just, it would be an honor and a pleasure to get to meet him, let alone get to work with him on something. So, I'm just putting that out there.
I think the first time I fell in love with Keanu Reeves was when he did the movie Hardball, the movie with the kids, and he was doing a little league coaching and everything. That was like kind of one of the first times I got to see him kind of like do something other than he does like the Surfer Bro or something like that.
Right,
And
right.
and I mean he's a guy who has a gambling addiction in Chicago, like coaching little league to kind of pay off his debts and everything. And I was like, wow, this is he killed this role. And on top of that, I like the fact he's a martial artist as well. So
Yes. And he does his own
he
stunts.
does his own stunts
And
where we've
he's
been trained.
53 years old and he does his own stunts. I mean, come on now. That's
Does
awesome.
he age?
No, he doesn't age, but I've been told I don't either. I mean, I'm 40 years old and I played a 21-year-old a few months ago for a documentary over in the UK.
I know. Like I was looking at your pictures, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like,
So,
what's going on in the acting world? Everybody's just like looking younger. I could tell like you're just like
well,
I'm like I'm sorry if I would have known before like because I knew your age, but like when I found out that you were 40 and I saw your picture, I was like, huh?
right. I know. It's like when my kids friends meet me for the first time, they think I'm their sister and I get carded, like I'll go to the store and of course, now some of the stores know me and know that I am old enough to buy wine, but I'm old enough to
Oh,
buy wine. It's funny.
that hey, that means you're doing it right, girl.
Thank you. Well, I,
Hey,
I,
that's
I
good
really
genes.
feel like, the less stress you have in your life and the happier you are, the slower you will age. I mean, the youthfulness is for the happy people, really, because I tell you, when I was married, I looked so much older because my marriage was really super unhealthy, you know. And then it's like once I wasn't in that marriage anymore, the years just like started shedding off. And my students, I used to teach high school, and my students called me Benjamin Button because they told me I looked younger and younger every single year. And they're like, it's not supposed to work like that. So I'm like, well, I'm happy.
I
So
mean, that's beautiful because like it's true. Like when you're like people don't understand like if you're in certain relationships or just around the wrong group, believe me, it tells on your body. It tells on your body. It
it
just
does. It does. Well, and I will admit, I did smoke cigarettes too, so I know that didn't help. But it's like
girl,
I know.
I've been
Like,
there
why
too.
did I
It's
ever do
okay.
that? So I've been 10 years free of any nicotine. So I'm like, yes.
Okay, I need to get like you because I still vape. I'm not gonna sit here in front. I know vaping is not better than no better than cigarettes. I'm like, ooh, I need to get this up, and I'm not getting any younger.
Well, and another thing, people need to make sure they're drinking enough water, because if you don't have enough water, then your skin gets all gray and ashy and old looking too. You
Yes,
have to take care of yourself.
yeah, I try to at least drink a couple bottles of water a day, so I can keep myself hydrated and everything. And I drink a lot of tea too, so it's just like a mixture of tea and water. That's what I like to drink mostly.
Well,
I'm
tea
trying.
has got caffeine in it though, so it kind of, even though it's diluted, it still isn't the best choice. But a
Oh
good
yeah.
rule of thumb on the water though is however many pounds you are, cut that number in half, and that's how many ounces of water you really should drink a day.
Oh wow.
It's a lot more than people realize.
Well, then I'm gonna have to drink some liters here. Yeah, 'cause I'm a big guy, so yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I
probably not. I do drink
well,
a lot of water though. I drink jugs of water.
that's good. That's real good. So
Yes.
I do still do some modeling too on rare occasions. I'm doing I'm modeling at a business conference in June. So they haven't told us what we're wearing just yet, but I was booked for that many months ago, and
I, yeah. Sorry.
I was a live Barbie when I was 19. So
I
that
read
was a lot
that. I
of
read
fun.
about that right there.
That was
Man, you
tons
were
of
like a
fun.
girl's dream.
Yes, yes, yes. I did have to dye my hair blonde though, and I kept it blonde for many years. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm keeping this blonde for other people. I'm going back to my natural hair color because I'm tired of it, So I have naturally brown hair,
Yeah.
and I do not
Fantastic brown
color
hair,
it.
by the way, girl. You
Thank
rocking it.
you. Thank you. There's no gray in it. I thought there was a gray, but I was wrong. So that is my real hair color right there.
I haven't seen a speck of gray on your head. Because like for like a hot second you were on video, and I was like, huh, she's a lot
Yeah,
younger than my picture.
right? Exactly.
So
So
yeah, it's like so I can tell you take care of yourself. I take it you eat like a healthy diet and everything to keep yourself in shape and everything.
most of the time, I mean, we do eat pizza and things like that on occasion, but it's mostly healthy stuff. Yes.
That's good though, because nutrition is a big thing. Because like your body is your temple. I'm trying to work on that myself because I'm trying to live to be past 50 if I can. Seriously, 50 plus, especially in this age, you got to take care of yourself.
Oh, for sure. I mean, people are living past 100.
Yeah,
Not
the oldest man in the world was 146. He just passed away a couple days ago.
wow.
Can you imagine 146 years?
No, I can't. That would be a really long, interesting life, though. I mean, that would give you more time to experience the world.
I could only imagine he was from Indonesia or something like that. And to be quite honest, like I don't know if I would want to live that long though. That's a little too much for me. I was like, you know what? If I get past 90, just take me out.
I don't know. I met my great grandmother. She came over here from Guernsey, so technically I'm third generation American. But she was really awesome at 103, and she was like the
103.
Scrabble champion of her retirement village, and just the cutest thing ever. So, I intend to be a spunky old lady when I get there. I'm going to be like, I'm going to have pink hair. I've had this planned for years and years. It's going to be
You've
just
been planning
cute.
the old lady. Hey,
I'm hoping it turns white so that I can tint it just a hint of pink, you know, and just like dress all boho and stuff, and just be one of those funky old spunky old ladies. Just I want to be a fun grandma when
okay.
that time comes. I want my kids to be like, hey, let's go to Granny's house. She's having a dance party over there or something. It's just I have these plans. I'm not gonna just sit there and be all boring.
Hey, just because, like, a lot of people don't understand. Like, just because you get older doesn't mean you still can't have fun. Okay.
Exactly.
Like, my mom was 53. She's still getting up and getting it like she's 23. So
Right.
that's my, yeah. So I mean, that's something to look for. The fact that you're looking forward to it, that's positive in its own. Because I already thought about it. When I'm an old man, I just want to be that cool old man, that can give a little bit of advice to the next generation and kind of pass the torch if I can.
Right.
That's
Leave a
always
legacy
that's
there
always been important to me.
for
Because
sure.
oh yeah, like my great grandfather, and we're on the subject of like great grandparents. He lived to be 96 years old. He passed away a few years ago, and he he lived through a lot. I mean, from 1919 until 2016, like he has seen everything that he couldn't imagine. Like he went to war twice, had 7 kids, and he saw the civil rights era. He saw a lot of eras. He even got to see the first black president. Like something he never thought would happen. He even said it out loud. And here we are now. Like he's seen basically the evolution of just the United States. And you said your great grandparents. She was an immigrant, correct?
I'm sorry. She was.
Oh, so like what country did she come from again?
She
Just to
came
make
from
sure.
Guernsey in the
Where is
British
Guernsey?
Isles.
Oh, okay, she's from the British Isles. Okay,
Yes.
that's amazing though, because I think it's special when people can like kind of relate back to their history, or back to their roots and everything. So I take it a lot of that got instilled to you, like their traditions of like being like having a grandparent from the British Isles. So I take it that kind of got passed down to your generation.
I think some of it probably did. I mean, it wasn't identified as tradition, but I mean, we're pretty proper. And I was born and raised in Texas. I've been told that I don't sound like a normal Texan, and I'm like, well, we talk proper. And I grew up in Austin, and people generally talk more proper in Austin anyway, but um, I don't know. I hope some of the traditions got passed down, but like I said, they weren't identified as such. So
Right.
I would love to actually go over there at some point and just really, breathe in my history too.
See, that's awesome right there. I mean, I've been debating on taking a DNA test to see if I could find a little bit more information on like my family's background because like after like 1901, like I really don't know anything further than that.
Right. Oh,
And I would love, huh?
I was going to say it's really interesting. I've done Ancestry and 23andMe, and the 23andMe. Sorry, I'm like giving them a spot here, but they're much more comprehensive. with their breakdown, and I actually found out that I'm a tiny, 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 tiny bit West African too. So I'm like, yeah, that's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yes.
I've
So
always wanted to go to Africa myself, so it's just I'm in fact I'm fascinated by a lot of the old school traditions they have, and I watch a lot of documentaries. Some of them are positive, some of them are negative. Like you kind of get both sides of it because there's a lot of cities out there that are very, very advanced. Like they would compete with some of our mainstays like LA or New York. And I'm amazed by the culture. I'm amazed by the food because I'm a huge foodie myself. So I love like I love African culture. Actually, I like a lot of cultures actually. Have you done any international travel at all?
I have not. I've been told that I need to get a passport to the UK though, because there are some opportunities over there. So I'm working on that. I looked into how much that costs, and it's like $300 for an initial passport. So I have to put that off for just a little bit, but I will be doing some international travel at some point.
Girl, you got to do it. I'm telling you. I've been to Germany, I've been to Japan, and I've been to Holland. Those were amazing trips because of the fact that really makes you appreciate home, but it also makes you appreciate the world and your surroundings. Like you realize that you're not the only person on this planet in a lot of different aspects. When you step into somebody else's like country, it's not America anymore. It's a different custom. So if I can recommend anything, definitely as soon as you can, go international, girl. You'll love it. Hmm. You still with us?
I'm here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Um, I really want to go to Greece too, just because it's absolutely gorgeous over there, and from the pictures that I've seen, and I'm pretty sure in the Mediterranean mix, I've got some Grecian in there too. So that's much more family history that I want to go learn about in person too.
Oh yes. I I would love to go to Greece. I would love to just kind of absorb the history of it, meet some of the people, eat some of the food, because I love Greek food. So, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I mean, I've met a lot of folks from Greece and very very nice folks. So I can only imagine walking just around. There's probably just like a mark of history just for the pebble that's on the ground. That's that right there. I have a lot of love for because one thing I've learned about European countries, especially, they love to preserve their history because this is important to them. I mean, we're a young country. We're only like 300 some years old, 400
Right.
at the max. So when you go to another country, you realize like, okay, this is a civilization. The civilization has been around for thousands of years. Like everything is history, even to the houses. Like I could say that from being in Germany, like 500 to 800 years old. You find out, wow, like I'm like sleeping in a piece of history and I didn't know it. It's crazy.
Well, and it's so cute too, you know? It's like why would you not want to preserve these beautiful structures, you know? And with
Yes.
us we're like there's so much concrete everywhere.
I mean, I feel like I'm swimming in it sometimes. Oh my
So,
goodness.
it would be nice to escape and learn about the history over there too, you know, and take lots and lots of pictures. I love photography too. So, um,
Girl, I'll tell you what, like back when I was in Germany, 868 pictures.
wow.
I I took way too many pictures.
Well, you know, you wanted to document, and it may, you know, you might not have been able to go back there for more pictures. I mean, I would be the totally same way. For crying out loud, when I watched my son play football, even I took over 300 pictures for one game because I was getting the play-by-play. You wanted the play-by-play over there in Germany.
Girl. It's so much, I'm serious though, because that's like Yeah, that sounds like me. Don't give me a camera. That whole thing is gonna be full within a few shots.
Yes, especially if
Oh
it's a
my!
good camera, you know.
One of these days, I just want to get a valid camera. Coming soon. Eventually, I will have a decent camera, folks.
I tell you, the lens that I want for my camera, I've got a Canon T3i, and
That's a good
it's a
camera.
good camera, um, and I've got like 400 and $900 lenses, but the lens that I really, really, really want for the air shows, because I love taking pictures at air shows. I love air shows, love, love, love air shows. Is a $3,000 lens. I'm such a nerd. But
Girl.
with that lens, you can pretty much see right into the cockpit while they're up there. I will eventually get my hands on that lens. One of my friends has that lens, and I'm so jealous. I'm like, I want to just touch it once.
Oh my goodness, man. I'm not gonna lie. If I had something like that, that thing would be sitting in the case in my house. Like, see this lens right here? $3,000. I'll be holding it
Yeah,
like it's an antique trophy.
that lens right there is specifically for the air show. Once I do get to where I can obtain one of them, that will be called my air show lens. I have my football lens, and I will have my air show lens. So,
So I take it that you've seen the Blue Angels and all that.
oh yes, I actually have a picture of me. I was 18 or 19 at the time. It was when Emmett Smith flew with them, and it was on the news and everything. I was
Wow.
out there in one of the VIP tents that day, and it was back before they put that fencing up, so you you could still go out onto the tarmac. Um, but you can't do that anymore and go meet the guys or anything. I mean, they'll come up to the fence now, but you can't go out there by the planes anymore
Oh,
since
that's a
9/11,
bum.
I guess, probably. But you used to be able to, and I have pictures of me in front of the captain's jet with the whole team at the time. Didn't get Emmett Smith in there, but I did get to sit in his SUV because I got so sunburned that day and actually suffered from heat exhaustion, and so they put me
Ooh.
in his SUV to cool down, which I thought was really super
Oh,
cool.
bless your heart.
Yeah, oh, I know. It was just, they had to twist my arm. Emmett Smith is like one of my favorite football players ever.
Oh,
Um,
he's a
and,
goat. He's one of the
well, I
greatest of
mean,
all time.
he was on the team when the Cowboys were still good, and I really hate to say that, but they really haven't been good for about 20 years.
Uh,
Um,
I'm not gonna go
I
there.
love my Cowboys. I do. I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, but yeah, I do a lot of yelling at the television when they play.
Oh, so you're a huge football fan as
Oh,
well.
I love football.
Oh, same here.
I mean, people,
So,
my family knows and my friends know, do not talk to me when the Cowboys game is on. You can talk to me during commercials or whatever, or halftime if I'm not interested in that halftime show, but do not talk to me while there plays.
that sounds like us out here in the Midwest with the Chiefs. It's the same thing. Like seriously, me and my mom gonna be watching the game. My mom's sitting there cussing out the referees like she's at the game. I'm like,
Right?
Mom, calm down.
They can't hear you.
Oh my
Oh
gosh,
man.
don't even
And
get me started.
baseball
Like,
games too. Baseball games too. If I'm at the stadium, I'll be yelling and I know they can hear me because my voice carries. I'll be like, "Do your job." I
oh my goodness. So you're a Rangers fan as well?
I am, yes. Yeah, I actually,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they heard me a couple weeks ago.
Oh my
I just
gosh,
he
I'm
passed
really
he
bad at
passed
baseball games.
Oh man, oh man, it was like the ninth inning, and they gave up such a huge streak, a huge winning gap there, and the pitcher, it's like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? And I'm all yelling, substitution, please. And they did actually end up substituting him a couple of throws later. And I'm like, yes, thank you, do your job.
I, you sound like you would be a lot of fun to go to these games with. I'm not going to sit here and lie.
Yes, I embarrass my children.
I know they're like, Mom, it's a game. Calm down.
I know, and like when my son was playing football, he's like, "Mom, everybody can hear you on the other side of the stadium." I'm like, "I know, I was a soccer coach too."
Man,
I
you
love
love
sports.
sports.
I do.
See, I like that. I like the fact that like there's the other side. He like, because there's nothing wrong with being a sports man. Because girl, I get into it too, especially at baseball. Baseball season, I love baseball. I've been a fan of the Kansas City Royals since 1997. They were my first major league team. They'll be my major league team to the day I die. And I I'm in love with it. Okay, like I love the coaching aspect of it. I like the plays. I Now I would have played baseball when I was younger, but to be quite honest, I don't think I could have thrown a ball on a barn if it was on my best day, girl. Yeah, I wasn't built for football and stuff like that, but I love the sport of baseball. I love it. Like I know a lot of the history. Jackie Robinson was one of my favorite players. Like from like back in the day, because I did a report on him back when I was a young kid, and of course the Hank Aaron's and the Jeters and all that. Even though Jeter's a Yankee, he was still a good player. I can't sit
Right.
here and lie. It's sort of
Yep.
like Tom Brady's a good quarterback, whether we like it or not.
Oh, I know. I love Tom Brady, and I know that's like blasphemy for a Dallas Cowboys fan to say, but I love me some Tom Brady. I do.
You're the first person from Texas to actually say that that I've met. It was like, oh, I
He's
love Tom Brady. I was like, okay, wow.
Well, and it's not just because he's pretty. You know,
Uh,
he is a really talented player.
I'm sorry. When it's game time and crunch time, that man will like just shoot that ball, do a whole bunch of shotgun plays, and next thing you know, he's up 14 more points than he had, and you're like, wait a minute, what happened? Like he just like the pressure he like faced in like a lot of these Super Bowls he's been in. I'm sorry, a lot of guys would crack.
Yep.
So that right there is a champion right there. That man is definitely Hall of Fame.
Oh,
It's
for
it,
sure.
like that's already hands down. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever touch the ball. So yeah, Tom Brady, whether we like it or not, even if you're not a Patriots fan, you got to give him credit's due. In the story, that's the Michael
Right.
Jordan of football.
Yep. Yep. The whole Deflategate thing, I was like, oh man, I really hope he didn't. But, that was when he played against the Cowboys too. And we're just like, oh man, we were robbed. But
Oh my
you still have
gosh,
to respect the man. I mean, he's an amazing player. He has a gift, and he gets paid to do what he loves, which is everybody's dream, getting paid to do what you love. So I
not
love that
everybody
he's
gets into the
living his
NFL.
yeah.
Oh, I feel like I've interrupted you. I'm so sorry, my bad.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I'm just kind of still fangirling over here a little bit.
That's okay. Believe me, you're not as bad as some of the male fans. Some of the male fans, I'm just like, do you want to marry this man or something?
Yeah,
Relax.
it's funny too because I was actually um, I'm actually on the extra features of a film, a really a really terrible film that Tom Brady directed.
Wait a minute, Tom Brady did some directing.
He did, he did. It's a really bad football film called The Comebacks, and I'm the MySpace winner. I mean, it's that old. I'm the MySpace winner on there.
I might need to go ahead and dig into this collection of a film. And
Yeah, yeah, it's not a family friendly movie. I will tell you that right now. It's really raunchy in parts of it, but I'm not in the film. I'm just on the special features as the MySpace winner. But that's still kind of cool to get to say.
Oh yeah, that's still cool though. I mean, hey, I'm believe me, when it comes to like unadulterated comedy, this is actually like usually this podcast is explicit, but at the same time, I want to make sure make this platform open to anybody, so I can also
Sure.
keep it clean if I have to. So the fact that you've been so like polite and everything, like I like the fact that you're a person that's very versatile on what she can do, or just her personality in general. Like you seem like a lot of fun, Miss Toft.
Thank you.
Like
My kids think
seriously.
so sometimes too, when I'm not making them clean.
So, do you have any any work that you want to display, or do you want to you know shout out your tags or anything like that, Miss Toft?
Well, as far as what I'm working on right now,
Yes,
I do
ma'am.
want to kind of put it out there that we are starting a network. It's called Powerhouse Television, and it's POWA House Television. Um, the the man heading up that network is his stage name is Fred T. It's Fred Thompson. It was totally his idea, and we are putting together all kinds of original content because especially in the Dallas area, we have to do that because there's not a lot of funding that comes into our area, and so like big production companies really don't favor us. So in order for our actors to be able to do things without having to travel to Atlanta, New Orleans, and LA and stuff like that, we've put together a whole bunch of content. We have a small production team. I'm an actress and director and sometimes production assistant and consultant on that team. We have writers on the team, and we're going to be producing a whole lot of stuff that's going to be streaming at first. So we'll be putting it on Facebook Watch, and then we will move it to YouTube Red and some other paid streaming platforms. And based on interest, we will be pitching some of it to the larger platforms like maybe Paramount or Lionsgate or the bigger companies out there. So the
Wow.
end goal is to start small and then grow it and get up on the big screen with our content.
Hey, you put it in the universe and you plant the seed, anything is
Exactly.
possible.
And actually, a couple of days ago, I had a meeting with a lady who started another network with her now ex-husband, and she's going to help us launch our new network. So, I've been putting together a whole lot of meetings. I've got people sending me their scripts for different things too, and these are people who are not directly involved in our production team, but um, they're putting their information out there so that I can take a look at the content and let them know if I'm interested in acting or directing for their productions too. So that's really really nice.
That's
And
amazing.
there's a ton of stuff that I'm under non-disclosure about, but I will be sharing that as I'm allowed to do so, and getting my IMDb updated as well. I've got a lot of content that I'm still waiting on footage for the IMDb, so that those credits will continue to grow as well. I did mention the documentary over in the UK. They
Right.
actually came. That's through Antenna Pictures, and they actually came over here to do the filming. And we did an episode of their version of Vice. We did an episode on Clay Toomey, who is from the DFW area, and
Wow.
he's the only bank robber uh, that we know of who never got caught. He turned himself in, and I played his 21-year-old wife a few months ago.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's cool.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, we did that back in, actually, it was more than a few months ago. It was back in November, right before Thanksgiving. So I'm also working on getting that footage too. So there's a ton of stuff that I have been doing. It's just sometimes it's challenging to get that footage to put into your reel and to get the credits and everything. One really cool thing I want to share that I got to do that unfortunately they did not create an IMDb page for, and they didn't put the stand-ins in the end credits for, but I can at least say I can let people know, and I do have the program from it and everything. But I was the stand-in for Tyra Banks for the Women That Soar Awards when they were in Dallas.
Really?
So yes,
That's a
yes,
big
that
deal.
was really, really cool. So I actually just went to the viewing party not too long ago.
That's
Pretty
wow.
amazing. And
That,
she, I will tell you, is just an absolute doll. She is a wonderful person to be around. She is the sweetest person, and I mean, she's a mogul, and she could be so different, but she is so humble and precious, and I loved getting to meet her. And I was trying so hard not to fangirl, but it was really, really neat getting to be her stand-in for that while she got
I,
ready.
I love Tyra Banks. A lot of, I mean, she's had her controversy or whatever, but to be quite honest, I like the fact that she went from being a young teenage model into this conglomerate. Like she was a talk show host. She has like America's Top Model. She's on multiple covers. She's ran companies. Like I'm sorry, I love the fact that she was such a influence on not only just the world but just young women. She was empowered. That's that's awesome that you got to meet her. She's actually one of my favorite people, actually. So I can only imagine. She seems like she would be a very humble person. You got to like just have some dialogue with her.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't really get to talk to her, but I did get to meet her and hear her talking to other people while she was getting ready and like running through the lines and everything. And I mean, she's just awesome. She really is. So I love seeing humble, big time stars, and like Keanu and like Glenn and like Tyra. It's just it warms my heart to know that the stigma of being a diva, not everybody fits that mold. So it's really refreshing to see.
So I got a question
Yes, sir.
that's on my mind. Who influenced you the most as a thespian?
I've gotta put that toward Meryl Streep because I just absolutely love her. She is so skilled in everything that she does. She puts all of herself into all of her work. And I love the story. Like The Devil Wears Prada is my absolute favorite movie that she's ever done.
That
And I
movie was
love
awesome.
Oh man, she was so evil but so awesome in that movie. But I love the story where she told Anne Hathaway before they ever started, "This is the last time I will be nice to you," because she gets so just in tune with her characters. I mean, she's the most amazing actress I've ever seen in my lifetime. So I love her. I do. And
I
Sandra
thought she
Bullock
gets
too.
better with age.
No, she really doesn't either. She's looked like she's around, 60 for decades. So, I don't actually know how old she is, but she looks fabulous. She really does. Just looks amazing.
And I just like physically, but it seems like her acting. It's like I see her evolve every time she does a role, and I love it. I love the fact that she's been doing it for so long. I mean, she's been doing it since I believe the 70s, if I'm
Wow.
correct.
And
So,
I think you're
yes,
right about that. Yes.
she's been doing it since the 70s. And I mean, you look at all the movies she's done over the years. I mean, she has a remarkable career. I would say one of my favorite movies that she was in, and besides like Mama, because I do like Mama Mia. I actually like Mama Mia. A lot of people like, yeah, yes, but I want to say Julie and Julia was one of my favorites. I saw her because I like Julia Child, and she did a really good job playing Julia Child. Like, I I I completely enjoyed that movie. Like, I like the fact that she could just do so many different roles and personalities.
Yes.
That's the talent.
Versatility is so marketable too. I mean, I was just told yesterday, um, Glenn had me try a New York accent for a scene, and I tried and I carried it off for a little bit, but it's like a 4 minute scene that we did, and so like my accent was all over the place, like Kentucky and Louisiana, and just going everywhere throughout the scene, and it was kind of funny. But he told me that that I need to continue to work on accents too, because that will make me much more marketable. So I thanked him very, very much for stretching me, and I believe someone like Meryl Streep can do pretty much any accent out there. So I love I love her. I love her so much, and it would be an honor to work with her on something too.
Yes, I hope you do sincerely because I can already tell with the great head that you got on your shoulders. I think that you're gonna go very far
Thank you.
because age is just a number. I mean, shoot, everybody's breaking out in Hollywood, regardless of age these days. And I would love to see what you have in the future. And I want you to keep me updated on some of the things you have going on.
Sure.
Uh, and anytime you need a platform, you're definitely welcome on mine. You've been wonderful, and I love the fact that you even gave me this honor and privilege to have some dialogue with you and get to know you just a little bit better. I appreciate that, Miss Toft.
Thank you so much. It's been really, really fun for me too. I appreciate you having me on. I do have an actor website if you don't mind me plugging that a little bit too.
Oh, please
Sure.
plug your Instagram, plug your Twitter, plug whatever you need, girl.
Well, and actually, all of my social media is linked to my actor website, so you can find it all in one place there at www.shannatoft.com. That is www.shannatoft.com.
Follow her, guys. Check out her page. Seriously, she's very down to earth, and I think I've had a lot of fun with you as a guest. I think you definitely in my top five of guests, sincerely.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well, with that, guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and end it here. This has been Anthony Anthem, aka Mr. aka Black Fabio, aka the Midnight Marauder, aka okay, I'm done. But anyways, with that, we are done and we are out. So till next time, folks, and good day.
Why didn't the Three Little Pigs go in for some kind of flat share scheme?
Does Jesus get to choose which wine he turns it into?
Why don't Sims have the upper body strength to climb out of a swimming pool?
And does everybody really want to be a cat?
I'm Will Baker.
And I'm Alex Prescott.
And if you're the type of person that overthinks these deep philosophical questions, then Think to the Brink is the podcast for you.
From Disney characters to song lyrics, debates to social etiquette, tune in every week for your dose of paralysis by analysis.
All topic suggestions are welcome. If you can think it, we can overthink it. Think to the Brink. Available on all podcast platforms.
Hey everyone, this is John Tolley, inviting you to check out War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast. Each week, me and my co-host Christopher Stolley discuss the news and theories surrounding one of the largest movie franchises in the world. So join us every Wednesday at 8 Eastern as we travel to the galaxy far, far away, right here on Anchor FM and wherever fine podcasts are heard.
You know, when you need CBD, vape juice, or a new mod, go to Vape Scorpion. 10859 Boston Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19116. They are formerly known as East Coast Vapor. They have all your needs, all the equipment, all the juice. And hey, while you're there, sit down, enjoy a beer, bring your own, and just hang out with a bunch of cool people. So guys, if you really need your next vape machine, or maybe you just want to try a locally made juice, make sure you hit up Vape Scorpion. That's 1085 Boston Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19116. Or give a call to 215-464-8273. Oh yeah, and make sure you let them know that Realm of the Mist Entertainment sent you.
He said that she said, how dare you say that? That's offensive. Well, someone's gotta say it. It had to be said with Venus. Catch the live show Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Check out the recordings at any time. Guest shows weekly. Listener, beware. Mature content, sexual content, trigger warning. Do you dare say it?
Hi, my name's Chris, and I'm here to tell you about Realm of the Mist podcast. Realm of the Mist podcast, we talk about all the great entertainment things, from movies, music, books, comic books, and many, many other forms of entertainment, as well as politics, current events, and just general humor and having a good time. If you're looking for a podcast that is right up your alley, look no further than Realm of the Mist podcast here on Anchor.fm or where fine podcasts can be heard.
Hi, this is Dave from the Comic Collection at 83 Bustleton Pike in Feasterville, Pennsylvania. Our phone number is 215-357-3332. We are right next to Northeast Philadelphia. We have action figures, gaming, statues, albums, and CDs, graphic novels, other knickknacks, and, of course, comics. Established in 1985, we are your go-to store. Come by and say hello, and say that the guys from Radiocast FM Radio sent you. The address again is 83 Bustleton Pike, Feasterville, Pennsylvania, or call 215-357-3332.
Three-eyed turtle? Is that alright?
What the fuck is a three-eyed turtle?
Who wants a mustache ride?
Are you tired of the same old podcasts with no humor? Well, join us for After Hours, where everything is funny, at least to us, on Anchor.fm and where quality podcasts are heard.
How the fuck did we get on this?
I don't know.
Fucking FCC started this shit. It's their fucking fault.
Hey everyone, this is Dak.
This is Liam.
And this is White People Shit.
We are a bi-weekly podcast.
Whoa. Maybe you're bi-week. I'm straight and strong.
It means twice a week, you douche.
Oh. Yeah, listen to us twice a week. On White People Wednesdays, we talk about gay stuff, zombies, superhero sex positions.
And on Featured Peep Fridays, we interview the Featured Peep of the Week.
Yeah, like a fucking furry.
Just search WPS Podcast and look for the white dude in red pajamas.
We're on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.
We believe in equal opportunity humor, where all things can be made fun of. So if your feelings get hurt and you're offended, you can always
eat a dick.